Let me tell y'all something today. This one right here, this is for all the women who walk into their house, turn the key, and it's just silence. Ain't no one calling out, baby, I'm home. Ain't no shoes by the door that don't belong to you. Ain't no voice coming from the back room. It's just you. And maybe a glass of wine and some good music. Or maybe it's a long sigh and a whole lot of quiet. But let's be real. It ain't always easy. See, there's this idea in the world that a woman who lives alone without a boyfriend must be lonely. People treat you like you waiting, like you sitting on a bench looking out the window, wondering when your turn gonna come, like you incomplete. But let me tell you something, a woman who lives alone with no boyfriend, she ain't broken. She's building. She ain't empty. She's full with peace, with purpose, with herself. You know, we live in a world that will try to tell a woman who's alone that she's less than, that she should settle, compromise, shrink herself down just to say she got somebody. But you know what takes real strength? What takes real courage? Waking up every day and choosing yourself, looking at the world and saying, I'm not going to let being alone make me desperate, because being alone and being lonely, that ain't the same thing. See, you can be in a house full of people and still feel like don't nobody see you. You can be laying next to a man every night and still feel like you invisible. You can cook for two, clean for two, sacrifice for two, and still feel like you carrying the whole relationship by yourself. But when a woman chooses to live alone, that's a woman who knows her worth. That's a woman who said, until I find someone who loves me like I love myself, I'll just keep loving me. Come on now. That ain't weakness. That's power. Let me tell you what I see when I see a woman who lives alone. I see someone who learned to fix her own damn sink. Who figured out how to kill spiders without screaming? Who goes to bed in peace instead of arguing over where the remote went? She buys her own groceries. She pays her own rent. And she don't have to explain why she ordered takeout 3 nights in a row. That's a queen. That ain't no victim of circumstance. That's a woman in charge of her own life. And don't get it twisted, this ain't about hatting on relationships. Nah, love is a beautiful thing. Partnership, when it's right, is powerful. But what I'm saying is, a woman don't need a man just to prove she's valuable. A woman doesn't need to be in a relationship to have a full life. And if a man gonna come into her life, he better add peace, not take it. He better bring joy, not drain it. Otherwise, she already knows how to be alone, and she ain't afraid to go back to it. You know what I love? I love a woman who knows how to take herself out to dinner. You ever seen that? A woman sitting in a restaurant alone, dressed to the nines, drink in her hand, confidence in her eyes. That's poetry. That's beauty. That's strength. Because see, when a woman lives alone, she starts learning things about herself that she couldn't hear over all the noise of somebody else. She learns what makes her laugh, what makes her cry, what her own silence sounds like. She starts talking to God more, starts dreaming again, starts heal. Oh, let me say that again. She starts healing from all the wounds she kept covering up with distractions. From the years of thinking she had to be small just to be loved. And sometimes that healing comes slow. Some nights she might cry. Some mornings she might wake up wondering if she made the right choice. But every time she gets up, makes her own coffee, and steps out that door anyway, that's courage. That's resilience. Let me say this. Don't you ever let somebody make you feel bad for choosing peace over company. Not every man who wants you deserves you. And just because you could love him doesn't mean you should. Sometimes the bravest thing a woman can say is, I'm good. Not because she gave up on love. No, because she refuses to let love hurt her again. See, people don't tell you this, but when a woman lives alone, she becomes her own best friend. She starts understanding that her energy is sacred, that her time is precious, that her space ain't for rented just anybody with a nice smile and a smooth line. And one day, maybe somebody gonna come along and he gonna see that light in her. He gonna see that this woman ain't just sitting around waiting. She's been living. She's been growing. And if he steps correct, if he comes not to complete her, but to complement her, then maybe she'll let him in. But until then, she's good. She's more than good. She's a whole story, not a half chapter. She's a garden, not just a bouquet. She's not waiting, she's thriving. So to every woman who walks into a quiet house at the end of the day, who pours her own glass of wine, who wraps herself in her own arms and sleeps like a queen in a bed she bought herself. I see you. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are building something real. And you don't need a boyfriend to make that valid. You're already enough. You ever notice how when a woman lives alone, people start asking questions like it's a crime scene? While you don't have a man, girl, you too pretty to be by yourself, like being pretty supposed to come with a man as a bonus prize. As if a woman can't just choose herself and be whole without somebody on her arm. You wouldn't walk up to a man and say, wow, you cook for yourself. What's wrong with you? But a woman, oh, suddenly everybody's concerned like she's got a condition. Let me tell you what's really going on. She's out here protecting her peace. She's not letting chaos walk through her door. Just so she won't be alone on a Friday night, she got tired of explaining her worth to people who only saw her as convenient. She stopped showing up for folks who wouldn't even clap when she was winning. Now she's showing up for herself, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I know women who pay every bill in their house, put gas in their own car, carry groceries up 3 flights of stairs without asking for help. Women who cry in the shower and show up to work with a smile like everything's fine. Women who learn how to be their own safety net cause life dropped them too many times and nobody was there to catch them. That kind of strength, that don't come easy. That don't come from depending on somebody else. That comes from fighting for yourself when nobody else would. And when that kind of woman says, I'm not looking for a boyfriend right now, what she's really saying is, I'm not looking to be distracted from what I'm building. She's saying, I got goals, I got peace, I got standards, and I'm not lowering them just to be able to post a picture on Instagram with somebody calling me bae. Sometimes you gotta love yourself so deeply that it makes people uncomfortable. So fully that anyone who comes along has to match it or move on. That's what it means to live alone and love it. You ain't just waiting for somebody to save you. You already saved yourself. I know some of y'all feel that quiet in the room at night. You sit on that couch, look around and think, am I missing something? Let me tell you, you ain't missing nothing that was meant for you. If it left, it couldn't love you right. If it didn't show up, it wasn't ready for you. Stop mourning what didn't choose you. You ain't nobody's maybe. You ain't somebody's backup plan. You are the prize, the table, the whole damn meal. And if he can't bring peace to that table, he don't get a seat. And I get it. Sometimes the nights get long. Sometimes you want someone to reach over and pull you close. But don't you dare trade your peace for temporary company. Don't you dare open your door to confusion just because you're tired of sleeping alone. Every time you say no to what's not right, you make room for what is. Every time you choose peace, you teach your heart that it's worthy of more than scraps. I've seen women shine all by themselves. I've seen them travel solo, laugh from their belly, dance in their kitchen like they got an audience. I've seen them heal their own wounds, forgive people who never said sorry, grow past the pain they didn't deserve. You think somebody like that is lacking just because she ain't got a man? Nah. She's discovering her superpower. She's figuring out that the love she was searching for out there, being inside her this whole time. And let's talk about the strength it takes to not go back to what broke you. You hear me? Because sometimes what's familiar is also what's toxic. It's easy to go back to that old thing just because you know how it works. You know the rhythm of the mess. But when a woman lives alone and chooses not to go back, even when she's lonely, even when her heart still got questions, that's power. That's growth. That's real self-love. It's not just about refusing a boyfriend. It's about refusing anything that doesn't match the love you've been giving yourself. It's about saying, I deserve more, and not apologizing for it. It's about building a life so solid that the wrong one can't even fit in the cracks. And when the right one does come, he gonna see a woman who knows her worth, not just from what she's heard, but from what she's lived. And yeah, she might miss the idea of companionship sometimes, might miss having someone to laugh with over dinner or share Sunday mornings with. But she ain't gonna settle. She ain't gonna shrink because the love she's waiting on, it's not casual, it's not convenient. It's real and it's earned and it shows up like, I see you And I'm ready to love you the way you've been loving yourself. So she waits, not in bitterness, not in fear, but in confidence, in fullness, in joy. She knows alone doesn't mean abandoned. Alone doesn't mean unwanted. Alone just means she ain't letting the wrong one sit in the seat meant for the right one. And baby, that seat is sacred. And you know, sometimes that seat been empty so long, it start collecting dust, and people around her start whispering, girl, don't be so picky. Aren't you tired of being by yourself? Oh, they think they helping, but they don't understand. She ain't alone because she picky. She's alone because she got clarity. She's seen what happens when you ignore your intuition, when you accept half, love just to feel whole. When you confuse being chosen with being cherished, she's done with that. She'd rather sit at her own table with her own meal in her own light than beg for crumbs from somebody else's feast. She's not out here trying to be impressive. She's trying to be at peace. And that right there, that scares people who don't know what that kind of freedom feels like. See, when you live alone and you ain't got no man to orbit around, people assume your world must be empty. But really, it's full of boundaries, full of standards, full of days that begin with purpose and end with rest. There's a rhythm to it, a beauty in not having to explain your every move, not having to justify your quiet, not having to shrink your shine to make somebody else feel tall. And she's not bitter. Oh no, people love to throw that word around whenever a woman sets a standard. She must be bitter. No, she's better. There's a difference. She's better than she was when she ignored the red flags. Better than when she tried to fix what didn't want to grow. Better than when she blamed herself for someone else's inability to love right. She's not mad at love. She just got tired of calling chaos passion. She got tired of confusing tension for chemistry. She wants ease now. She wants effort. She wants honesty that doesn't come with a punchline. She wants presence that doesn't feel like pressure. And until she gets that, she's good all by herself. You ever see a woman in her space, candles lit, a good book in her hand, music playing soft in the background? That's sacred. That's peace you can't buy. And she ain't trying to give that up just to say she got somebody sleeping next to her. She knows the cost. She's paid it before. And she promised herself this time it's going to be different. Now don't get it twisted. This kind of strength didn't come easy. There were nights she doubted herself. Days she looked in the mirror and wondered if something was wrong with her. There were moments she thought about calling him. Yeah, him, the one who always knew just the right lie to say. But she didn't. She let the phone sit. She let her heart ache and didn't numb it with nonsense. And over time, that ache turned into power. That silence turned into wisdom. Because when you get quiet, you start hearing the truth. The kind that don't come from other people's opinions or social media posts. The kind that bubbles up from deep inside. That still small voice that says, you're okay. You're not behind. You're not missing out. You're just becoming. And baby, that becoming, it's sacred. It's slow. It's not for everybody to understand. Sometimes the cocoon feels lonely, but the butterfly always shows up. Always. And she ain't rushing that process no more. She used to rush. Used to fold herself into boxes just to fit into someone else's idea of perfect. But not now. Now she walks in rooms fully herself. She don't over-explain, don't over-apologize. She's not trying to be liked. She's focused on being free. And that freedom, it cost her everything. But it was worth it. And if she wants love, real love, it's going to have to find her in her wholeness, in her peace, in her silence. She ain't available for confusion. Ain't got time for mixed signals. She wants grown love, intentional love, the kind that don't play hide and seek with your heart, the kind that holds you not just in the good times, but when life shows up with real challenges. But until then, she's not waiting, she's living. Traveling, building, laughing, thriving. She's learning how to sit with herself and like the woman she's sitting with. That kind of self-love. It changes everything. It changes how she talks to herself, how she treats her body, how she protects her energy. And here's the thing. People may still look at her and not get it. They might still ask why she's single, still wonder why she ain't settled down. But she ain't here to be understood. She's here to be real, to be whole, to be her. And she ain't asking for permission no more. She walks past the noise now, past the pressure, past the expectation. She knows what she brings, and she knows it's rare. So she ain't throwing it around like it's common. She's a woman who lives alone, but she is never, ever without love. Because the love she built inside her, that's permanent, that's home. So if you see a woman living alone, no boyfriend, no ring on her hand, don't you dare feel sorry for her. Stand in awe of her. Because what you're looking at is someone who chose herself, someone who walked through the fire and came out holding her own hand, someone who decided that being whole was more important than being chosen. She ain't bitter, she's better. She ain't lonely, she's rooted. And if love ever comes her way, it's not going to find an empty shell of a woman waiting to be completed. No, it's going to find a woman already full, already shining, already in motion. And if love never shows up, she'll still be okay. Because she already learned how to love herself in the way she always wanted someone else to. That's not sadness. That's power. That's not loss. That's liberation. To every woman living alone without a boyfriend, you are not the waiting room. You are the destination. And baby, you've already arrived. Thanks for watching.